I think the world is on fire, so there's a lot of need for, contribution to make the better world. And one of the wicked problems we have is, of course, climate change. We're focusing in particular on rebalancing supply and demand of energy. What we develop is software for load disaggregation, which means that we can use smart meter data to break down into the level of appliances. What we really need to do is to provide solutions to translate basically these insights into actionability. Having a company is a vehicle to make a change. Over the coming months, we are optimizing performance and user experience. The energy transition is, in my opinion, one of the topics that needs the most attention because, just to make sure we give this world to future generations.
Welcome back to another episode of the Startup Passport by Econsulate. Today we are joined by young Soo. You are a co-founder of Powerchainger. Thank you very much for joining in today.
Thank you.
When people go to your LinkedIn, well, amongst other things, it says, I'm driven to contributing to a better world. What do you think is something that you are doing right now in contributing to a better world?
Yeah, in general, I think the world is on fire, so there's a lot of need for contribution to make the better world. And one of the wicked problems we have is, of course, climate change. And because of climate change, we need to make a transition in energy to renewable energy. And yeah, we're in this field, and we're confident that we can play a significant role here to mitigate on that problem.
And how did you initially come up with Powerchanger and everything that has been happening since then?
Yeah, so before I started the company, I was working as a consultant for some years. I helped governments, municipalities, provincial governments, and the thing is, it's very important to make policy on the energy transition. But I also figured out that within the system, it goes very slow. And the fact here is we don't have a lot of time. So we need to act now. And by building a company, you also, build a vehicle to make a change. And this is what Powerchanger is all about. Having this vehicle to make a change on the energy transition and go at the same time at a high pace to achieve that goal.
So, what is exactly what the company is doing, and also what are your what's your target audience? What are your target clients for now?
Yeah, so we're focusing in particular on rebalancing supply and demand of energy. And so, as you know, we have a huge problem that we call net congestion. Not so long ago, we have seen what happened in Spain and Portugal. This is what's going on. So, just to give you an example. Boston Consulting Group recently calculated that grid congestion cost Dutch society up to 40 billion euros a year, which is 110 million euros a day, just for your understanding. And these costs will only rise. So at the same time, we see that the Dutch government, the Netherlands, is investing 195 billion euros to reinforce that grid up to 2040 in the coming 15 years. But by reinforcing the grid alone, we won't solve the problem. What we really need is to bring in flexibility, and it's also about behavioral change. And what we develop is software for load disaggregation, which means that we can use smart meter data to break down into the level of appliances, give people real-time insights in their electrical appliances, and because of that, have a way to steer people to use energy consumption to optimal times. And by doing that, shifting energy consumption to optimal times, we play a significant role in bringing back balance.
And to change people's behavior, you can give them incentives, you can, educate them, but, governments also play a role with adding regulations, for example. So how is the role of governments in your business sector?
Yeah, so, the energy sector itself is very complicated sector. There are a lot of stakeholders. One of them is the government, of course. In a way, you're absolutely depending on regulation, what the EU is doing, what the Netherlands is doing, what regions are doing. So yeah, this is something we cannot not take into account. However, there's a huge urge to come up with innovative solutions, help energy companies, help end users, help DSOs, TSO, the grid operators, to bring in some solutions to mitigate on that grid congestion. So what we do is we develop these algorithms, combine that with insights from behavioral science, because just to be honest, we analyzed a lot of energy monitoring companies, and what they do is they provide graphs that people won't understand. And what we really need to do is to provide solutions to translate basically these insights into actionability. And therefore we use scientific research, we use good examples, how we can nudge people combined with this technology for this aggregating data.
And how is your team looking right now?
So we have a team of 10 people, including the two co-founders, 5.8 FTE to be precise. And also, because of that behavioral side, we don't only have engineers and computing scientists. We have also people with a social and behavioral background, just to make sure that this combination of technology and behavioral driven insights and behavioral science is covered. We're at product soft launch, which means that we're not at market yet. So last year we have built a prototype for technical validation. This year it's all about product optimization. Over the coming months, we are optimizing performance and user experience, working towards market launch in Q4. And in between, we're conducting some pilots with a few energy companies already.
Is there still anything you could need right now to make that launch to the market a little more smooth or even better?
Yeah, to be honest, this is a great journey, building a company. It comes with also a lot of challenges. So, for instance, this NL startup competition will help us not only to take the stage to share our story, but also learn from fellow founders, from people from the ecosystem, get inspired, because all these things we need to make sure we reach market and also beyond. And for us, it's not only about building this technology, it's also about finding, let's say, a very specific and optimal product market fit. And that will be the challenge as well for the coming months. And we can really use this kind of events and chats with people to make that proposition and that proposition basically more concrete.
And being in the energy sector, obviously, it is such a big sector, and there are so many stakeholders involved, as what you said before. Even if your company succeeds to a certain point, you might not be able to have as big of an influence as you might have in other sectors, which are generally smaller. So for you, what is it that keeps you going and keeps you motivated every day to keep working on the company and essentially also on a bigger mission?
Yeah, so intrinsic motivation to make this world a better place, and I think in particular the energy transition, because of climate change, is maybe the topic maybe we need to cut this out a little bit, but I mean, like, the energy transition is, in my opinion, one of the topics that needs the most attention, because just to make sure we give this world to future generations, we cannot afford a system that is not ready. We cannot afford a system that comes with blackouts all the time. We cannot afford a system where we still keep using our fossil fuels. So there's a huge urge for solutions that turn that around for the good. And that drives me. And of course, it's super nice and also very challenging to build a company. I really believe, as I told you before, that having a company is a vehicle to make a change. So this is also something what drives me. So that.
Yeah, and I will definitely be very interested to follow that and see how it turns out. Thank you very much for giving the insights on Powerchainger and also a little bit on your personal motivation, and for joining the podcast, of course.
Thank you so much.